Hey everybody, how you doing tonight?
Hey,
Tonight it's just me, AJ's personal touch, AJ, and Amby.
hey, I'm Amby from Amber Crafty.
As you come in, let us know what's on your hook and what's in your cup. I got tea in my cup and I've got nothing on my hook yet tonight. So,
Yeah, nothing on my hook right now. Probably after I do this live, I'll probably start on my mom's Afghan again. And I've got in my Golden Girls cup, I'm being a good girl, I've got water.
I I'll be starting on a cat toy. I'd meant to get this stuff out to start on it while we were here, but I have, for those of you who have been following me for a while, I am not feeling well still, and today's a rough day for me. So we're just going to keep this a little bit more impromptu than we had planned, and do a lot more chit chatting. A little bit of what we were going to talk about tonight, but then a little bit of chit chatting and keep it a little bit shorter tonight, I think, than normal.
Yep.
Yeah, we almost had to cancel, but I took a shower. As you can tell, my hair is still extremely wet, and I was feeling well enough to come on. That
So I'm
it's
glad.
amazing how showers can make you feel like a new person.
Yeah, sometimes if they don't exhaust you first. Hello, Lisa. Hi, working on a
Listen,
sweater. I'm about done. Cool.
awesome. What kind of sweater are you working on? Is it a summer type sweater or a winter sweater? Is it top down or bottom up? I know some people like to know that. I think I haven't made very much yet as far as garments, but I've made a top down, like a spring type sweater, and I have a bottom up one to do. There's Kathy. She says, "Hi AJ and Amby, drinking flavored water and working on a shrug. Glad you're feeling a little better, AJ." Thanks, Kathy.
Cool. So we got a sweater and a shrug on the go in the room.
If I didn't have to watch a tutorial, I'd work on my um can't even think, shawl.
Lisa said it's a winter bottom up
Bottom up.
sweater.
Okay, cool. I have one to make from my husband that's bottom up. I'd started it and he's gained weight, so I had to rip it all out and I have to redo it.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. That's why I haven't even ever attempted to do any kind of garments other than like a shawl or something like that or a scarf
Yeah.
because I don't know if I'm gonna. Sometimes I lose like a few pounds and then sometimes I gain a few and I never know what size.
Mhm. Well, when I first started making it for him and I asked him without him knowing what it was for, like what size he would need in a sweater, and he told me at the time I was thinking I should go a size up. Just, if it's a little big, it's not going to matter. And
Yeah,
instead, I went with what he said, and then I'm like, ah, I should have just went with my first instinct and went a size up because
yeah,
that's all I had to do was size it one size up.
cool. And another thing I've always thought is I don't know enough about who designs what kind of patterns, so I don't know like sizes are kind of different for everybody. You know, some people can see stuff as
Yeah,
one.
but if they put the dimensions on, if they follow the guidelines nowadays, most of them will put on the dimensions so you can follow the dimensions and find out what size you need that way.
Okay, that's cool.
So they'll put a chart up with the different sizes and then the dimensions on each size.
Cool. That's cool. So maybe when I'm done with my mom's Afghan and my dad's Afghan, and then I'm gonna do my sister one. So when I'm done with the Afghans, maybe if I haven't decided to start something else.
That's cool. So, how are you guys doing? What's the weather like where you're all at? Because I know it is so different depending on where in the country you're at right now.
Yeah, and the weather is just being. I know here it's being weirdly unseasonal because today's the first day. Well, not the first day, but it's been in the 80s. But today it was in like it was like 85, and I think it had only got up to like 83 once, and then it was 81 another day, and that's it. Usually by now, it's staying in the 80s, and we've had cold weather in April, cold weather in Georgia. That is so weird. It's like low 40s at sometimes, and then high 40s. I'm not used to this. And then we had like it being 50 degrees in January was no, that's not. Usually in January is one of our coldest months, but nope, it's totally flip flopped.
Yeah, well, it didn't get cold enough. I'm in Indiana, northern Indiana. It didn't get cold enough here all winter. We didn't have a hard freeze throughout the winter. So, like, there's going to be this year, there's going to be a ton of bugs. I mean, we've already had bees and flies in the house this year.
Yep,
So, we know there's going to be a lot of ticks and, whatnot. I know
yep,
Kathy, like, she has thunder, lightning, rain, and hail. She said that's Wisconsin several seasons in one day.
yep. That's Georgia.
She sent me a picture earlier today showing me the hail hitting her deck.
In the, and we've
So,
had a lot of storms lately,
yep. We've had a
thunderstorms.
lot of thunderstorms here. You name it. We've had tornado warnings a couple times. Today, the high is supposed to be 72. I think it only got up to 67. But yesterday, we were freezing and we had snow. So, Lisa says chilly, cloudy, raining, some hail this morning. Yep. The weather's just been crazy, just completely crazy.
Yep.
And it was warm enough for the one cat. Um, we took two feral cats in last year, and the one, she doesn't want to go back outside. She's happy to stay in the house and be pampered and petted and get good food and not have to fight for stuff. The other one, as soon as it got warm, he wanted outside. And he sat at the door and cried and cried. We tried everything to tell him, no, you don't want to go out there. But he just cried and cried and cried. And we were like, okay, fine. We opened up the door and we're like, go on. And he stays on the porch. It, like my husband said, it seems like he's our protector. He'll sit out there and he'll watch, and if anybody gets too close or an animal or something, he lets out a noise. So I know something's going on. The other cats that we were taking care of over the winter, somebody else must be taking care of them now because they can't get on the porch. So they've gone. And we're like, honey, you're supposed to share. We're still taking care of feral cats. You still got to be nice. But he's like, nope, this is my porch. But it got so cold we had to bring him in because we were afraid he was going to freeze because he refused to go into the little like styrofoam houses that we have for them to keep them warm because they smell like the other cats. So he refused to go in there. And it was raining and hailing one night and he was just huddled in front of our door like this and just shaking, and he was so cold and he would not come in for the life of him. And so when my husband got home, he picked him up and he said, you're coming inside, it's too cold.
He was thinking, if I come in, they ain't gonna let me out again.
No, we told him he can stay outside if he wants to during the warm seasons, but he can't expect to go in and out and in and out. That when it starts to get cold, he can come back in, or if he decides that he's had it with being outside and he wants to be an indoor cat, but we cannot have him in and out every day because then he's going to bring other stuff into the two that are in here and plus to me with me being sick. So
Yep.
Yeah, but I'll go outside and pet him. So he gets his pets still, just not as many. He really enjoyed his time in the house, being pampered and taken care of. It's like, see, don't you remember? You get this every day if you stay inside. But he's
Yeah.
like, no, mom, sorry, gotta go outside. Gotta go. It just kills me. I just watch him, and whenever he's not around for a couple hours, I'm like, you okay? You gonna come back?
Our outside cat is totally the opposite. He's outside and he wants in so bad, but we have a girl in now, and so they just fight, and so we can't have them both in at the same time. Sometimes we let him in and put the other one in the back, but no, he's not. I don't know. He's not happy in, but he wants in so bad. But
Do you have yes, Kathy, he's got the best of both worlds. Do you have
yeah,
any catch and release places near you who will catch them and neuter them and bring them back to where they found them?
I don't know. I haven't looked into that.
Because that's what our meow mission was, and they're the ones who took care of the two ferals that ended up coming in last year.
Well, ours isn't a feral. Ours is just a cat we have. We put it outside because it just needed to go outside for a while, and then we just kept it outside. It's okay outside. It just won't in.
Well, it's just they don't once they're spayed or neutered, they don't fight as much. That's the only
Okay.
reason I brought it up.
Okay.
That's one reason that they do that. Plus, it helps. They're trying not to keep the cats repopulating, so
Yeah.
they're trying to take care of the feral colonies and getting them fixed.
Yeah.
So, plus, when they're fixed, the tomcats don't fight with the other tomcats, and they don't fight with the females when they're trying, to get at them
Yeah.
when they're in heat.
Yeah.
So, anyway, okay, it looks like we had four in here for a while. Now we're down to two. So, hopefully, it didn't bore anybody. Um, Tonight, we were going to talk about May Day. Ambi looked up the history of May Day. So she's going to go ahead and tell us what she found. I was going to show pictures, but instead of doing that, I have a link to a Pinterest board that I made down below because with my not feeling so well, it's, it doesn't take a ton out of you to share, but it takes a lot to set it up. And I just didn't have it in me to get it set up today. So I do apologize, but I did get the Pinterest board up and I did add one of my favorite designs that was on Ravelry to it as well so that you could see that.
Cool. So if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my phone. I couldn't find an actual like somebody started May Day at on this day or this year or whatever, but it said that it's from ancient Celtic origins and Bethane. I guess I'm saying it right, Beltane. Yeah, Beltane, but now we call it Beltane. It's like a pagan thing, and it's just basically a celebration of spring because it says that May Day is one of the four ancient Celtic cross quarter days. It falls between the March equinox and the June solstice. So it's just basically a celebration of spring and of life and everything. And they do in ancient times they would include dancing, singing, special bonfires, and I never saw anything that said what kind of special bonfires, so I don't really know.
Okay. I don't know when I was looking at it too, because Ambi and I had both looked it up. One of the big things too about May Day is it's about rebirth and all new babies in nature
Oh yeah,
um plants, everything new.
And
And
fertility.
I don't, and fertility. And in one of them that I read, it described a ceremony that they have, and I can't remember if it had to do with the bonfire or not, but they would have like the farmers would bring their cows, the females of the animals, and pass them through, and this is supposed to help make them fertile. And if there's a woman who was trying to get pregnant, she may walk through as well. But I can't remember if it was the bonfire or if it was something else they had set up when they had the celebration with the bonfires or something. I can't remember exactly what it was they were passing through, but I'm thinking it was the embers of the fire. So nothing that would
Okay.
hurt them, but something that would bring them energy and
Yeah.
help with fertility.
And it also says that they would decorate the house doors, and animals would be decorated with yellow mayflowers and ribbons. And then during that time in Ireland, people would visit special wells, and the dew on that day, which is May 1st, is when it is believed to bring beauty, youthfulness to people that are like around it, or like at one thing I saw, it said that some people would like collect the dew and use it, I guess, like, I don't know, a moisturizer, or like bathe in it or something. I don't really know exactly what they did, but they would just collect it and put it on their body. And then in the Middle Ages, English villages had homes with maypoles from rejoice and celebrations on May Day. They would go into the woods and they would find a maypole set up. They would find maypoles and set them up in towns and stuff. It was just like a big old tree or something, and they would um, take all the stuff off and put ribbons and stuff on it, and people
Kathy
would.
says they used to have a maypole with colorful streamers and dance around it when she was in grade school.
Yeah, that's something people started doing in more recent time, or more modern times, in the 19th or 20th centuries. Um, they would villages would compete with each other to see who had the tallest maypoles. It doesn't say what they would do with whoever won, what they would do, but it just says that people would dance around them because the poles symbolized male fertility, and the baskets or the wreaths that they would put on their houses was,
Kathy, you need to
well,
stop. Kathy says that wasn't so recent.
well, it's modern. It's more modern
She's
than
talking about
18.
her age. She's talking about when she was younger. That wasn't
Oh,
so recent.
oh, oh goodness.
What am I
But
going to do with you?
the maypole would symbolize male fertility, and the baskets and the wreath with flowers on it that they would use to adorn their houses symbolized female fertility. And then in the 19th century, which would be the 1800s, a new meaning of May Day came about that was known as International Workers' Day for labor rights and an 8-hour workday in the United States. As time went on, cultures created their own traditions, and it was in alignment with what their own beliefs were. Um, Europeans and Americans celebrate May Day with flower crowns, maypole dancing, which was a lot like what Kathy was saying. Kids would do it in school and everything. It wasn't so much a big thing anymore, but some people had like festivals and stuff and would do it. And they would the main thing by then was making flower baskets to share with loved ones or like hang on. A lot of people would like go to their neighbor or their friend's house or something and put a basket of flowers on their door. They would hang it like on the door handle or whatever. It was just something people did, and that's something that I like. They say it says some people still do that today, but I've never done that. I'd
Lisa
never
said
heard of doing that.
Lisa said me too made May baskets. So I'm assuming that was when she was in school, like Kathy
That's
was
cool.
saying.
That's cool. And another neat thing is that in Hawaii, May Day is known as Lay Day and is a celebration of the aloha spirit and the giving of the flower.
I knew they had Lay Day. I did not realize it was on May Day.
Yeah, that's what it is. So they have the specific flower that they are celebrating, and then just like it said, the aloha spirit. But International Workers' Day became a day, and they just, I guess, chose May 1st in 1886. And when Labor Day arrived, or Labor Day becomes a national holiday in the United States in 1894, which was still different than the May Day one because that was all about getting rights for workers. And Labor Day
Right.
was just about celebrating people that had a job. You were celebrating the fact that you could work and that other people worked and
Right.
did things to help you.
I
But
know they said that the part of the May Day one had to do with something that went on in Chicago.
yeah,
Um, and they were trying to get their rights because the company in Chicago didn't want to give them their rights.
yes, I think that's somewhere in here. I'm not sure. I thought I had seen it on this. Maybe it was the other thing I was looking at. But it was just basically they started protesting. I can't remember what they called the protest, but they wanted, they had 12-hour working days and they wanted to shorten it. And what it came up with was now we have an 8-hour work day instead of a 12-hour work day. And in this was very recent, 2014, they have International Workers Day rallies all over the world, and in Turkey they had to ban them due to all the violence that was taking place in the marches and the riots.
Wow.
So, and then yeah, people were they ignored the government on that ban, and it's the problem. Let's see what else.
Sounds like it.
Um, yeah, it says the May baskets were sometimes left on the doorsteps of unsuspecting neighbors, with the sender yelling "Mayday basket" and dashing from the scene. Um, okay, this is where it says that mostly at schools is where they do the singing and dancing around the maypole. And then spring flowers are picked and gifted to loved ones. And although all these traditions have become lesser known today, they're still known and stuff. Okay, May Day by the numbers. Um, okay, 200,000. The estimated number of people who were present at the 1886 protest in the United States. That was the protest to get, that was in Chicago to get better working conditions and a shorter working day. And then 60 countries. around the world celebrate May Day, and then there's probably others that do a something, and then um, this is a lot about the International Workers' Day, but um, okay, it was called the Haymarket Affair. That's what the protests and all were called in Chicago. Um, and then Labor Day was created as like a counter thing to distance itself from what happened on that day. And then more people celebrate Labor Day today than International Workers' Day. And let's see, I've got some other stuff. Um, um, the Greeks and Romans held festivals with agricultural ritual, can't say the word,
Rituals.
rituals. I don't know why I'm having a problem saying that. And it came to include gatherings of wildflowers and green branches, and then the weaving of floral garlands and crowning of a May King and Queen. And then they came up with the maypole and having it decorated and stuff, and it just evolved from people just basically celebrating life and fertility and the coming alive of the world and the fact that people could rebirth, give rebirth, and had fertility and stuff. And by now, the significance of ensuring, okay, people would dance, and though that was supposed to originally, it may have been intended to ensure fertility for the crops and by extension the livestock and the humans. But in most cases, this significance has gradually lost, was gradually lost, so the practices survived largely as popular festivals. Yeah, most people nowadays don't really celebrate it. It's just kind of a thing that's dropped off. But some places have like a community festival or something, and it's still in some places a thing that people will do in schools. Little kids will dance around a maypole. But it was a day, okay, considered in England, in because the Puritans of New England considered the celebrations of May Day to be licentious. Okay, I hope I said that right. And pagan, they forbade its observance, and the holiday never became an important part of American culture. So that's why. And the 20th century May Day celebrations declined in many countries as May Day became or May 1st became more associated with the International Workers' Day
Okay.
and the labor movement.
Lisa said that when she made her basket, she said, "I always put popcorn cookies and spring flowers in them."
Oh, cool. That's
That
cool.
sounds nice. Now, if you happen to go look at my Pinterest board, there are a lot of pictures of flowers and like the baskets you can put them in. I did have general crafts for kids, and I didn't put any of those in there that I was going to show. I forgot to add those. It's just a lot of making baskets out of a piece of paper and making paper flowers and stuff and putting them in it.
Well, that
So
was
I think I
basically,
remember Emily coming home with a Mayday basket when she was really little
hmm I
that they had
remember
made in
doing,
kindergarten.
yep, sorry. I remember dancing around the maypole when I was little.
Yeah, we never had a maypole. I remember seeing what they were. I think the first time I ever learned what a maypole was when I read Little Women,
Okay.
because they danced around a maypole when was Meg the oldest when she got married.
Yeah, I think so. I was gonna say something, but I can't remember. Well, that was really all I had about the history.
That was good. Um, Not to move on to the next topic, but in 2 weeks when we come back, we will be doing proms and graduations both together. So we had a lot of debate on whether we should add one to tonight and that, and I'm kind of glad that we didn't since I got so sick. I literally couldn't move earlier today until after I got my shower. So we were going to cancel, but I really didn't want to. And once I felt a little better, I was like, let's just make it more chatty.
Yeah,
So now that we're done with the presentation part, let's just, chat with whatever you guys want to chat about. And we won't make it as long as we normally do.
and does anybody have any things they would want us to do a episode on?
Yeah.
Because we can always use suggestions.
Yeah. It's actually Kathy who brought up May Day with me because I completely forgot about May Day.
Yeah, I'd never even really think about it.
So, and I know in different parts of the country, some people still do things with it and other people don't. So,
Yeah, I don't think I don't think I've ever known of a festival here. At least I've never been to one or heard about one. So,
right. I don't think I have either.
but I do like the idea of dancing around the maypole for the fertility thing, or for the fertility, for at a marriage or whatever. I think
Hmm.
that's cute.
So do I. I like the idea of the May baskets,
Yes, I love that idea.
of making something little and just putting it on a neighbor's,
Door.
on
Yep.
their door, because most of us don't know our neighbors anymore. And I
No.
just think that would just be so sweet to do.
Yep.
We just had somebody new move in next door, and I was trying to think of what I could do for them, but I have so much on my plate already crochet wise, because I thought, oh, what some can I crochet something small, something, like maybe a little washcloth set for the kitchen or something. But I'm like, I have so much to do already. I don't have time. Like I have, for anybody who is interested, I have my next crochet along starting tomorrow. And if you look at the intro that I did for it, I have the pattern on there, and we're doing a market bag. So I figured with so many companies changing, and I believe federally everybody by the year 2026 has got to go from plastic to whatever, to reusable bags to use, that I thought making a market bag would be a good thing.
I know Walmart.
Bookmarker. I got a bookmarker that I already have made. I could probably just take to him. I know it's a young father and his daughter. She just had her birthday. I think she may have turned 8 or 9. I've only met him to wave and say hi, and it was on her birthday. They were taking her bunny that she must have got, I don't know, for her birthday or Easter, to the vet. So, and I haven't. It got cold, so I hadn't been sitting outside anymore. I like to sit outside when it's warmer,
Yeah.
but I have the cow. I just also got a custom order for baby gifts to make from somebody I went to high school with. They're having their first grandbaby. Um, well, they're not having it. Their kids are having the first grandbaby, and so I had to find yarn and stuff for that, and I'll have to get started on that. And I'm making a baby gift myself for somebody, and plus my cousin is getting married, and I'll be making gifts for her because we really don't have money to go out and buy, a nice present or anything. I
Yeah.
always think giving crochet is a really nice present. So,
Yeah.
and I'm
Once
going to
it
be
gets
making her a kitchen set, I think, or a bathroom set. The market
cool,
bag I make is going to be for her
awesome.
and her colors for the kitchen. And then I think I'm going to make her a bathroom set then, um, hand towels, washcloths, and like the little face scrubby things, and maybe a soap sack or something like that, or a back scratcher.
Okay, can I ask you what yarn do you use to make things for the bathroom, like the washcloths for the bathroom?
I use 100% cotton just like I do for the kitchen.
Well, I know that, but like when I use like trying to think what it's called, like the sugar and cream and that kind of stuff, I do
Hmm.
that for the kitchen. But anytime I've thought about doing it for the bathroom, it seems too rough.
Well, it's not really too rough for the bathroom because you want to exfoliate your skin. So you want something that's a little bit, but if
Yeah.
you want softer, you can use the sugar and cream. And if you know how to do Tunisian stitches because those make it softer. Because they did when I made my mom a soap sack and a washcloth, and they were done in Tunisian. I was surprised at the difference of the feel from when I crochet it to when I used Tunisian
Mhm.
crochet. But also, Hobby Lobby, I love this cotton, is really nice and soft, which Kathy just put up there too. She said, I love this cotton or Lion Brand 24/7.
Okay.
I love this cotton for when you need a softer, nicer, but
Okay.
don't forget that because like for this set that I'm thinking of doing for her, I did find that I have some Hobby Lobby I love this cotton that I had bought to make a set for my mom, and I have some of their scrubology as well. So if I make nice washcloths, I'll probably make those out of the I love this cotton. But then I was talking about making a back washer scratcher. I
Mhm.
would use the scrubology for that.
Yeah. Okay.
So because people do like to exfoliate, so they do want to have, some things that have the rough, either
Yeah, the
using,
roughness.
a bobble stitch or something to have some kind of a good texture in there that's going to scrub.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank y'all.
You are welcome.
I
Trying to think,
think
I
that's
got another nice cotton. If you ever buy from Hobie, I like the King's cotton,
okay.
but I've been hearing some of the others are really nice too, like the Friends. They've got a Friends cotton now, and then their regular rainbow cotton. I heard those are nice too. That they're not as rough as the Lily Sugar and Cream.
Okay. Cool. I wish I had got some of that Scrubology when they had it on sale at Hobby Lobby, but on clearance. But I didn't. I don't remember if it was just I didn't because I didn't like the colors they had left, or if it was all gone and that's why I didn't. I don't remember. I think it was because I didn't like the colors they had left.
Do they make that anymore, or did they discontinue it?
They were getting rid of it for the I don't know about if they're gonna make it anymore. But I know Hobby Lobby is not gonna carry it anymore because all of it was on sale.
Okay. Well, Scrubology is a Hobby Lobby brand.
Oh, okay. So I guess they are gonna
That's
stop
why I
making it
asked.
or something.
Unless they were going to come, I didn't know if they were going to come out with new colors or, or whatnot.
Seemed like
Um,
all of it was on sale.
Kathy said Hirschner's cottage cotton is nice too. Yes, it is because I bought some of that to make some things with.
Okay.
I bought colors, if I remember right, for my best friend when I make stuff for her kitchen. See, and I have things to make for her too that I never. Although I think I made enough for her for Christmas last year. I just need to get started on early Christmas. Plus, I'm trying to finish up Emily's blanket that I was supposed to have done in January, but I was too sick. So I got a lot to work on. And this is supposed to be my year of the whips, getting all my whips done. So
Yeah. I haven't even touched my whips. I don't have many, but I haven't touched them.
I have a friend whose daughter just turned 6, I think. I still have the baby blanket in there that I started years ago, and I want to get it done. It's beautiful. It's only done in the moss stitch, but I have the pattern worked out and it should be gorgeous. How I have the colors laid out on paper, that it should be gorgeous, but I just haven't. I've had so many other things coming up, and she was the one who was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Get it to me when you get it to me." And now I'm like, "Okay, yeah." She was like, "I would like to see it someday." So I need to get it done.
I guess
And it's
she
bigger.
can.
And she knew it was going to be bigger because I made her son's really big. The one on YouTube at my cover, you can tell is
Oh,
a
okay.
blanket. That was
Yeah.
her son's blanket.
Oh, cool.
And she said that looked, so when I asked her about colors, she said, well, that looked like a sunrise. So she wanted sunset colors for her daughter.
That's so cool. I like that concept of the sunrise and sunset.
Yeah, I didn't even think of it when I was making hers. I just had those colors, and his dad's favorite color was orange. So we decided to put that on as the border. And yeah, she was right when she said that. She was like, well, that looks like a sunrise. So, yeah.
That's cool.
So I
Used
took
to when
all of, and I'm using varied, sport weight yarn. So
cool.
it takes a lot.
Used to when I would sew and somebody would have a baby, I would wait. Well, of course, wait till they knew if it was a girl or boy, but to find out what they were doing the nursery in,
Hmm.
and then I would make um oh, I can't think what they're called, burp cloths, the ones you put here and stuff.
Hmm.
I would sew those. I would use flannel or fleece or something, and then just a cotton. But like if they were doing it in like somebody did Winnie the Pooh one, I'll use like a solid color of the one, and then the cotton would be textured would be a print that was that that was whatever they were doing.
Hmm.
I like that. And then with crochet, I usually do like the colors that they like or whatever colors that go with the room or whatever.
Yeah. I burp cloths are so needed because when she had her son, which was only, how old was Emily when she had him? Maybe 16. So 16 years after Emily, she did not get one burp cloth at all
Oh my
from
goodness.
anybody because they're not, it used to be that they had burp cloths in huge packages. I can remember when Emily was a baby, I could go and get a burp, get 5 to 6 burp cloths, in a package.
Yep.
And, if I didn't have time to crochet something, I always got burp cloths. I would get the spoons that changed colors if it was, too hot. Those
Oh
saved
my
me so
goodness.
much from burning Emily when she was little. put
That's
them in the
cool.
food.
I've
If it was
never
too
heard of
hot, it
that.
would change color. So I gave those to everybody because they helped me so much when she was a baby. Even if I crocheted, I would put those in, you know, with my gifts. But she didn't get one burp cloth. And I was like, what are you talking about? Because we're sitting there in the, in the hospital and I'm trying to burp him. And I was wearing a pretty, a nice,
Hmm.
top. And I'm like, do you have anything? I don't want to, have him. So I just picked up, one of the hospital blankets. But I'm like, you've got burp cloths at home, right? For when you take them. She said, no. She said, when I went and registered, they didn't even have burp cloths for me to register with.
Oh my goodness.
And I looked around at a couple different places, and I think I found some at Target and I found some at Meijer, and I could not find them at hardly anywhere else. I mean, even our Walmart, I couldn't find, you know, regular burp cloths. I could find fancy, smancy, expensive ones, but I
Yeah.
couldn't find just a regular burp cloth. So I sat down and I crocheted her a couple triangles. And I was like, here. I'm like, I don't know if the dimensions are right. I don't know anything. Just use these, you know.
Goodness.
And then I finally because I stayed with her for a couple weeks. I found somewhere and I got her a couple regular burp cloths. But I was like, I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe having a whole baby shower with a ton of people there and stuff and not getting one burp cloth.
Goodness. Well, my cousin has just announced that she's having a baby. The one that got married in on the 1st of January.
Hmm.
Well, I hope that we've got birth, birth cloth here for me to get for her. I would make her some, but I don't know where my sewing machine is.
You could always crochet her one if you wanted to.
Yeah,
I've
well,
since seen patterns for them. So,
yeah.
yeah, Lisa says, I always used a cloth diaper. And that's what I think what people were thinking she could do because she was planning on using cloth diapers well, she did not just planning, she used cloth diapers for her kids. She had her mom, for both of them, got her like a year of diaper service and she used cloth diapers. And that was kind of cool because I got to see, because I had never seen before how somebody, used cloth diapers. We used just regular diapers. Nowadays, I would go with cloth because they're not as hard to take care of as everybody makes you think they are.
Are they all white? Are all of them white?
The actual diaper part, if I remember, that's what she used was white. Um, but she got them through a service, so they were like white with a stripe on them, which denoted that they were from the service in case she had any of her own, she wouldn't get them mixed.
Okay.
And then you have the diaper covers that you put over them, and that's what keeps them from leaking out all over you.
Okay.
So they actually worked really well.
Cool.
So I was telling Bob about him when I got home, and I was like, he's like, don't even think we're not having it. I'm like, no, we're too old to have kids. I'm not going to say I want to have another kid. I'm like, but if, by some miracle, Emily would ever, being that she's vegan and, how she is about saving the earth, and everything, I have a feeling she would use cloth diapers. So
Yeah.
it was
I've
really
never.
good to see, though, that it's not, even if you wash them out yourself, it's not really, that terrible as long as you have a washing machine that works, which we don't have right now. But we've got regular plumbing back.
Well,
We
that's
had to
good.
have, except for we got to get our bathroom fixed still, remodeled. But our line had been completely plugged up. It was terrible. They came in and tried to fix it, and we live close to the sewer plant, and we had had all the rain, and it had backed everything up, and everybody,
Mhm.
all of our neighbors and everything, they were all backed up. And then it got to where it just would not go down anymore, and it should have been. So they came out. We had Rotor Rooter had them come out, and it wouldn't work because they said with all of the toilet paper now, with all the 3-ply and the nice toilet paper, it goes in
Mhm.
there and it makes a sludge, and it just coats the
Mhm.
inside of the pipes, and they can go in
Goodness.
there and try to get it out, and they can't get it to work. So they got to come in and take a power washer and clean out the inside of the pipes.
Goodness.
And that's, of course, more money, and it takes them longer. So they gave Bob a price. They quoted him, when we come back, it'll be this much. And, so he was like, okay. And he set it all up. They came back. They got finally, after like an hour and a half, they got where we could flush the toilet. But we haven't been able to use our kitchen sink for years. Bob had redone the pipes. He had done everything you could think of, and they wouldn't work. They got
Mhm.
those to work. So we have actual kitchen sinks now, where he used to have the
Oh,
we'd have the bins in them, and we'd have to, dump them into the toilet or the, shower or whatever. And like the other night, he was like, "Why are you standing?" Because I made coffee, and I had it overflowed. We've been having a problem with our Keurig. We need a new coffee pot, and it will either not give you enough or it will overflow. We know that the pump is going, that we're going to need a new one. And I was going to take the overflow outside. He's like, "Just dump it in the sink." I said, "Oh, I forgot I can do that." I'm like, "I forgot." I said, "I forgot that we have two sinks that, both sides, because when it first started going out, we could only use the one side went out, we could only use the other side." I'm like, "First of all, I forgot that we had a sink that works and that they both work, and I could, because he was doing dishes, and that I could walk around him and dump it into that sink."
oh my goodness.
But I generally take coffee grinds and extra coffee and put them outside of my plants anyway, because coffee grounds and coffee is good for your plants.
Yeah.
So Lisa says, "I had 4 kids. I always used cloth." Awesome.
I
But yeah,
just
cloth diapers make fantastic burp rags.
cool.
I think I was having a hard time finding cloth diapers too, but not as much. They didn't make them, but because they were sold out.
I've never seen cloth actually seen somebody use them or whatever. I've seen them like on TV and I've seen people talk. I've heard people talk about them, but I've never seen anybody that I've never known anybody that used them. And if I did, I didn't know they did.
I think my aunt and uncle started using cloth diapers when my twin cousins were born, but they ended up going to regular diapers because they just were having such a hard time with dealing with twins. So
I imagine.
now they're pros at it. They had twins, and their youngest daughter had twins. So
Goodness.
I know Nikki, their daughter, was like, she got so much useful information from her mom from when her older sisters were little.
Kathy said she always used cloth diapers.
I wanted to use cloth. This tells you the difference. And this also, I know, Kathy, you've heard stories about my mom, but I always wanted to use cloth, and my mom talked me out of it. So, and there's so many things she's talked me out of that I should have just did what I wanted to do. If I remember right, Bob's sister talked me out of it too. So it wasn't just my mom, about the convenience and everything. But I think if I would have went with cloth, it wouldn't have been as bad as they kept telling me that it was.
Yeah. I only know about The convenient ones.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine. The convenient ones were so expensive when Emily was little. I couldn't imagine having a baby now.
Goodness, I know. And with the formula shortage a few years ago, and
Yeah. Yeah, my goddaughter, her son was just a baby with that. And that's terrible when you have a baby that needs special. I know Emily, she needed a special she always had issues with her stomach bothering her, so we had to have a special formula, low sensitive formula. That was it. Sensitive stomach formula. And I couldn't imagine, because when they had the shortage, they still had the sensitive formula out there. So the parents who needed it, they could still get it. But all the people who needed it were then buying up the sensitive formula.
yeah,
So my friend whose son could not keep anything down but one particular type, she had to find it overseas and pay for them to ship it, pay an arm and a leg to have it shipped here
goodness.
because she couldn't find it. Kathy says, I don't think they even had disposable diapers when my first was born.
Mhm.
I
Okay,
don't know. I'll have to look that up, Kathy.
I'm not sure the whole deal about this, but I think I know my grandma said. I'm trying to remember. It was either sweetened condensed milk or evaporated milk. One of those they used to make formula. Like people would buy the cans of it and make the thing at home.
Probably evaporated because sweetened condensed
Evaporated
would
is
be
what I
too
was
sweet.
thinking. And I don't remember if she said they put regular milk or if they did water or something. I don't remember, but she said they would mix it with something, and that's what they would use as formula. Like when my dad and my uncle were kids,
Hmm.
that was back in the 60s and 70s.
Yep. Well, yeah, I had to. Emily was adopted, so we had to use a bottle, bottle feed her. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Lisa said
Lisa
it was
said evaporated.
evaporated.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
has to be. There's no way they used all that sugar that was in the sweetened
yeah,
condensed.
yeah.
I couldn't even imagine what that would do to a baby to drink that.
Oh goodness.
Ugh.
If they did, I couldn't afford them. Talking about the disposable diapers.
It can be very, very, very expensive. And they could change the price overnight just for the heck of it.
Yep.
I remember they did that when Emily was little. I was already had my money set, knew it had exactly per penny what I needed to buy one package of diapers to get me through for, until Bob got paid. And I went to get them and they had raised the price like $2. And I was just like flipping out. I was just like, oh my goodness. I literally did not have those 2 extra bucks. I had scraped through my pennies. I had, when you have the change in the car and everything, I got through all that and I had just enough. And there was a woman, bless her heart, who was like, handed me a couple bucks and she said, here, would this help you? And I was just like, bless you. Just bless you so much.
Oh,
So I always try to remember things like that and, when I have it, help people.
yep.
I think there was a little girl who was standing in line and all she needed was a couple bucks to get what her mom had sent her inside for. But my mom's out in the waiting out in the car. They're like, well, it's a couple more bucks, and you want to strangle the person who's ringing them up, but I mean, really, there's nothing they can do, about it too, unless they want, because they'll deduct that out of their paycheck if they're drawers short.
Yeah.
So I handed her a couple bucks. I was like, here. And the little girl almost cried, and I was like, no, no, it's fine. Just spread it on when you get older. Just pass it on.
Yep.
The movie about that, is that the name of it? Pass It On? I can't remember. It was so many years ago now.
Um.
That movie used to make me cry.
Goodness. The one with was it Helen Hunt?
I think she was in it. With the waitress who her car broke down and somebody helped her and
Yeah, and it started from a kid doing something at school or something, had a project or something.
pay it
Pay it
forward. That's
forward.
it.
Yeah,
Thanks, Lisa. I'm going to have to look it up and watch it now that I'm thinking about it.
I like that movie.
I rented that movie I don't know how many times, and I would just sit and bawl because it was just amazing how one person, one story would run into the next, and back
Yeah,
around to the first.
yeah,
It was just amazing.
yeah,
Alrighty. Wow. It's 9 o'clock. We've been on for an hour already.
yeah.
So I think I'm going to wrap this up. Um, we'll be back here on my channel in 2 weeks. And we're not sure when Kaylin's coming back yet. So just let you guys know, I have good days and bad days right now. I'm not 100% yet from when I got sick in January. So we're just going to do this where we're going to prepare to come on in 2 weeks. And if I happen to get sick worse than I did yesterday, because I was able to come on tonight after taking a shower, I felt a little better, but I can still feel I'm still unbalanced. If it's worse than that, we'll just have to cancel at the last minute. We don't like canceling at the last minute, but we also don't want to just say right now, oh, we're going to cancel until, Kaylin can come back with us, because I have some really great days and I would hate to be having a really great day and then, be like, oh, well, we're not doing the live tonight because we decided not to because of my health.
Yeah.
So I'm slowly getting better. I've been having more good days than bad days. I think that what happened to me last night was a reaction to medications, and I'm supposed to try it again to see if that was the case. I don't know if I want to try it again or not. So I wrote my doctor. That's not what he said. That's what I was going to do, because I know it's something that they can say, oh, it could have been this or it could have been that. And normally my doctor would say, well, in order to know for sure if it's the med, try it just one more time and we'll see if it's that. So we'll see. I may try it. I don't know. It's really nasty too. I didn't know if I wanted to use it anymore or not, but I was not so smart, but it was something I think that could happen to anybody. I made tea, and like I said, our Keurig is going out. So when I make my tea, I've been making my hot water on the stove and trying to get it to just a very low boil, not a huge boil or anything like that, just where it's warm or a little bit hotter than warm. And I had gotten distracted doing something. By the time I came back, my water was at a rolling boil. And I took it off the flame and I set it aside. I got my tea bags and everything ready. I decided to go ahead and make it and just let it set with, um, I can close or open this on the top of the open so that and it was colder in the house. So I figured it would, cool off right away. And I grabbed something cold to drink too, and I grabbed a protein bar. Well, I left my cold drink in the kitchen. I didn't realize that I did. So I was sitting here, I was eating my protein bar and it got stuck. So I grabbed my tea and I chugged to get, well, not chug, but I got a big enough drink to unlodge the protein
Mhm.
bar. And of course, as soon as it hit, I knew I messed up. I didn't pick up my cold drink because I had accidentally left it in the kitchen, and I had scalded my throat.
Goodness.
So that was a couple weeks ago, and I was still feeling issues from it. So my doctor prescribed me some of that. I can never say it right. Viscous lidocaine, and that's what I used. And I don't know if that's what got me so sick or what, but something got me sick. For anybody who may have had gastric bypass, the Rowan Y version, it's kind of like when you dump from having too much sugar, but it's like 10 times worse than that. So, yeah, it was terrible. I like had instant sweat in my whole body all over. I just was sweating and shaking, and I thought it would be over last night or after I got some sleep, but I woke up and I was still very, very weak and not sounding right. And yeah, a couple people, when Amby first heard me, she was like, "We should just cancel." I was like, "Let me take a shower. Let me see how I feel." So it did help, and that's why we're on. But it's also why I didn't show the pictures and stuff because I just didn't have it in me to get all prepared and stuff like I should have. But hopefully, I will be fine, and the cow will go on like it's scheduled for tomorrow. For anybody interested in the cow, like I said, go back. I will, if I remember right, I will link the that video in the display for here. But it's only a couple videos back where I describe the cow, and it's starting tomorrow. And we will be doing virtual crochet starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then 3 and then 2 for the 2 Mountain and then Pacific. Um, in my room in my Facebook group tomorrow. So if you can make it, if you want to make a market bag, I would love to see you there. Yeah, I know you're ready, Kathy. So am I. I can't wait. I believe my yarn's right over here. I need to find the right hook. I never did look up hook size in that. So I can have all that ready for tomorrow. So
Cool.
hope to see you guys there. It will be some fun. We had fun with the heart, and it was just Kathy and I, and Nadine came in a few times. So Lisa's coming. Yay.
Cool.
Lisa says me too. Awesome. I can't wait to meet you tomorrow, Lisa. Awesome, awesome. So I will see you guys tomorrow, and have a great night. And we will see you later.
Yep. Bye.
Night.